start with the picture?
Okay, ready? Roll 'em.
Roll.
Now, Mrs. Mom,
Mrs. Mom. Could I
where,
say anything
tell me
about-
something about yourself. Where were you born?
I was born in North New Jersey.
And,
Best city in New Jersey.
okay, well, what, do you remember the year?
Oh, do I remember?
Yes, tell me.
1907.
1907?
Does everybody have to know my age?
And where did you spend most of your young life?
Most of my young life. I lived in Newark until I got married to your dad.
Uh-huh. And what street did you live on in Newark?
Oh, what street in Newark?
Yeah.
Oh, I was,
You used to live on
Drift Street.
On Drift
Drift
Street?
Street, Newark. That was when I was only about 5 or 6 years old.
Right.
And then when I was 7, we moved
To Van Buren Street?
No, we moved on Walnut Street.
On Walnut Street.
On Walnut Street.
Yeah. Is it true that you were known as the Walnut Crackers?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
No, not
And
really.
then you spent some time on Walnut Street, and
Oh,
then
yes,
from
we
there
were
you
about
went over
10 years.
Uh-huh.
And then my dad built a beautiful apartment house
on where?
on Van Buren Street, 181 Van Buren Street.
Okay, and it was also like a large apartment, and it had a store downstairs, didn't it?
Yes, it was my brother Sal's office, a plumbing office.
Uh-huh. Okay, and was Grandpa also in the plumbing business? Your father?
My father was a tinsmith, and we worked together with Uncle Sal.
Right.
Uncle Sal was a plumber,
Uh-huh.
and they both worked together.
And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
Well, we were 8, 4 boys and 4 girls.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay,
A
and
wonderful family.
well, tell me something about your mom and dad. Do you know when your dad was born and where he was
Yes,
born?
my father was born 1879
Woo! And where?
in Italy,
Naples?
Salerno.
Salerno, Italy? And your mother?
My mother was born in
What year?
the same. They both were. They always thought they both.
1878?
1879.
1879?
1879, and she was born in Nucera.
Okay.
N-O-C-C-E-R-A.
Now, at
That
that
was-
time in the United States, there were Indians out west. Were there any Indians in Italy?
No, I don't think so.
There were no
I
Indians
never
there.
saw any. No.
Okay. All right.
I want me to tell you how my mother met my father?
Yes.
Okay, this is very interesting.
Is this going to take long?
No. My father was a tinsmith. And
Yeah. He was tinning around somewhere.
And he was installing a roof
He was.
next door to where my mother lived.
Uh-huh.
My mother was only about 17 at that time.
And how old was
and
Grandpa?
he started to flirt with my mother.
He did.
He started to
He
flirt.
started to tin around a little bit, huh?
He started to flirt with my mother. And before I knew her, they told me they got married.
Really?
My
The
mother
same
was-
day you met her?
Oh, this-
Okay.
I want to see this. Well, this is all the truth. You
Yeah.
know.
All right.
This is all. Someday we'll have to show it to Aunt Lucy. By the way, I invited her over.
Oh, you
She
did?
doesn't know. So they got married.
Uh-huh.
And,
And who was the oldest child in your family?
Uncle Louis.
He was the first
He was
boy.
the
And then
first.
who was born after him?
Uncle Sal,
Uncle Sal was second.
Aunt Lucy,
Aunt Lucy was third.
Her Royal Highness,
Her Royal Highness was fourth.
Her Royal Highness,
And then who?
Uncle Carmen,
Uncle Carmen was five.
Uncle
Arthur
Arthur,
was six.
Aunt Mame,
Aunt Mame, and
And
then
Aunt-
Aunt Edith.
Aunt Edith.
I see.
She was the baby of the family. She loves to hear that.
Okay. Now, do you want to tell me something about these?
Well, this was,
This picture here. Do we have to turn this picture around?
do you see the
About Newark that you can
Okay,
remember as
I'll
a
tell you,
child.
I remember going to kindergarten,
Uh-huh.
and it was only 2 houses away from where we lived on Walnut Street.
Oh, really?
And
Uh-huh.
my kindergarten teacher was called Miss Littell.
Miss Littell.
Miss
Yeah.
Littell, and she was about 4 feet 5. She
Uh-huh.
was so tiny.
Uh-huh.
And after that, I don't remember too much. And then when I went to the first grade,
Uh-huh.
we had our classroom was divided with boards like.
Was it?
They would make it go up and down. You
Oh,
know?
really?
And if we had a couple of bad boys, one of our teachers, you wouldn't believe what she did.
What'd she do?
She would take their lips.
Yeah. Put a clothespin on them.
No, she would just.
Oh, yeah?
Well, today, if they do it, they would be in a lot of trouble,
Uh-huh.
right?
Right.
Right, Albert?
Okay.
And,
Tell me some other things you remember about Newark, downtown Newark, or
my school.
yeah, they have trolley cars then.
Oh, yeah.
Were they when you were a young girl? Were they trolley cars
Yeah, wait a
electric, or
minute.
were they pulled by the
No,
horses?
I'll tell you. I remember the the cars when they used to have a crank, you know,
Yes,
Uncle Louis
right.
first.
To get them started?
Yeah, and a lot of those people used to break their arms.
Is that
That's the
right?
truth.
Yeah.
That's
They used
very
to crank
true.
used to come around and hit their
break
arm.
them, And the trolley cars, they were very prominent.
Were they electric or were they drawn by horses when you were a young girl?
I remember the Bush and Eisenhower was being drawn by horses.
By horses? What, the trolley cars or
No,
the
first
beer?
I'm talking about the beer.
The beer wagons.
The beer wagon,
Uh-huh.
drawn by horses.
Is it true that you were once known as following the beer wagons around Newark? Huh?
No, I
No?
never drank that much beer in my life. No, the only time I would drink would be at the table when Grandpa made
I
that
see.
most delicious wine.
I see.
And then getting back to the trolley cars.
Yes.
My mother used to keep us home from school occasionally
Right.
to go and visit her sister uptown.
Uh-huh.
And what was the biggest treat and holiday to
To-
stay a day out of school?
To go uptown?
To go uptown to visit her sister.
Uh-huh.
And she would say, if you would fall asleep on the trolley car, it was a trolley car,
Right.
I'm going to leave you there.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember if I ever took you kids any place,
Right.
I would say the same thing.
If
you
I
fall asleep,
if I fell asleep on a bus, you'd leave me there.
I'm going to leave you there.
I think
There was-
one time you did leave me there. All right, cut.
Cut.
All right, so you were telling me about your childhood life.
Yeah.
Okay. What was life like in your home? I mean, did your mother work or did
No,
she?
my mother never worked
Uh-huh.
with 8 children.
Uh-huh.
Never. She never worked. In
Yeah.
those days, the woman never went out to work. They all
Yeah.
stayed home,
I see.
took care of the family. They had big families.
Uh-huh.
No mothers ever went out to work.
Right. And what did your mother cook every
Oh,
night
my
for your
mother's-
family?
We had spaghetti every night. but
Every night spaghetti?
Well, yeah, but we had our meat and our vegetable
Uh-huh.
and our fish.
Right.
You know, but spaghetti with
And what?
with beans, spaghetti with the peas, spaghetti with
Uh-huh.
potatoes, spaghetti with shrimps or
Right.
whatever kind they used to smelt or different kinds of fishes, whatever.
Did your mother make any gnocchi?
No, my mother
She didn't make
never made any homemade.
Pasta?
No, nothing.
Or was it all store-bought?
Everything was store
What'd you do, go down to Food Town at the time?
No, I'll tell you, they had to go about 10 blocks to shop,
Yeah,
and they had to carry the bags home by themselves.
really?
And then as time went on,
Uh-huh.
the man that owned the grocery store, he would deliver it.
he would
But this
deliver
was-
it?
This was many years.
Uh-huh. And what, did your mother speak English?
No,
Did your father speak English?
my mother never spoke English, but she understood everything.
She did.
And when we'd get together with my sisters, we would talk. To my mother, we would all speak Italian, but
Yeah.
among our brothers and
Selves,
sisters
you would
was
speak
always
English.
And my mother used to say, "Don't worry, I know what you're talking about."
Oh, really? And how about to your father? Did you speak English to him?
No.
You spoke
no, all
Italian to him?
all the time.
So to your parents you spoke Italian, but amongst
Among
each other you
ourselves was
spoke English?
Right. My father spoke English, but of course broken.
Yes.
And he worked for Thomas Edison.
He
Was-
did. And what did he do?
was
He was as a
orange.
tinsmith.
Yes, that was his trade.
I see.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure that's the kind
And
of work that he did.
where did your brother Sal, or Uncle Sal, learn the plumbing trade from?
Well, he first started to work for a plumber,
Uh-huh.
and from then on he advanced himself till he got a master's degree in plumbing,
Did he?
and then he could have either worked as a plumbing inspector
Uh-huh.
or go in business, and it was more profitable for him to go in business.
Did any of your other brothers work in the plumbing business with your brother Sal?
I think Uncle Sal, and I think Uncle Carmen and Uncle Arthur worked at times, but
Uh-huh.
then they had different. They went into the building trade.
Right.
Uncle Carmen and Uncle Arthur went into the building trade,
Uh-huh.
and they had different jobs. Uncle Carmen at one time was an agent for the Prudential Insurance Company,
Uh-huh.
and Uncle Arthur always worked as a builder.
Right.
And that's it for my brothers. And
Well, what about your brother Louis?
Uncle Louis? Now I have to tell you that my 4 brothers, I think Uncle Louis and Uncle Sal, they only went to school to the 7th grade.
Is that right?
And they worked their ways up to college almost. Uncle Louis and Uncle Sal.
Why? How by going to school nights?
Night school.
And what did your brother Louis become, our Uncle Louis?
Public.
Certified
CPA,
public accountant?
Yeah. He went to NYU.
Okay.
And Uncle Sal got his degree. He went, I really don't know where he went, but he went into like blueprinting.
Right.
He worked his way into the plumbing.
And how about yourself? What grade did you go up to?
Oh, let's see. I have to tell you a lot of funny things about my class.
All right, where were we?
Show the picture.
The picture?
You want to show them the picture?
Oh.
Okay. Well, you got to turn it around a little bit more so we can see it. Well, who's this over here?
No, I got to look at it too. Start with the boys, the men
Okay.
on top.
All right. That's your uncle who?
This is my uncle. You ready yet? He's not ready yet there.
I thought you said you were ready. Boy, you better get this thing down pat.
Yep. This is his wife, Anne.
Was that his wife down there?
This is his wife.
Well, no, you said that this is
This is his wife. I don't
Okay.
know why they didn't pair
All right.
them. This
Right.
is Aunt Tilly.
Aunt Tilly.
She's Aunt Tilly.
Uh-huh.
Clotilda was her name. Clotilda.
Uh-huh.
You taking this all in?
Okay.
And Clotilda. And here's my dad.
Right.
This is my mother.
Right.
My mother's name was Anne.
Uh-huh.
My father's name was Albert.
Okay.
Okay. This is Grandpa. This was on his.
What do you mean, Grandpa?
This is my grandfather.
Oh, really? Was it? So that was
Yeah.
Grandpa's father?
Yeah.
Oh,
These are all his sons.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
This is Grandpa. This was his 80th birthday.
Uh-huh.
That's why we had a family reunion.
I see.
And he was 80 years old.
Uh-huh.
And then comes Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
These are all my father's brothers, 5 altogether. Uncle Joe. And this is my Aunt Mary Ann.
Mm-hmm.
She had 16 children.
Wow.
And she brought up a nephew that had no mother besides.
Really?
You should see that house full of kids.
Uh-huh. And then who's the guy on the end
The
there?
one next, that's Uncle Bill.
Yeah. And his wife?
And this is his wife.
What's her name?
Carmela.
Carmela?
Carmela.
Okay.
Well, that takes care of that, right?
Uh-huh. You still rolling out? Yeah?
These better be perfect, boy. Or else. I'll come back.
All right,
from
so where do,
if he gets anything wrong, I'll come back from
where do we leave you now?
I like to go back to my school days. I want to recite the Gettysburg Address.
Are you going to recite the Gettysburg Address on this video?
Yeah, I want to recite it.
Why?
Because I like it so much.
Oh, okay.
Like
All right,
memories
so
when I
go
went
ahead.
to school.
Start
I have to
reciting it.
read it up once at least. I don't remember all.
Well, you don't remember all of it?
Not all, no. Gee, it's about...
It starts like we the people of the United States.
No.
Doesn't start like
Four
that?
score and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth their new continent, complete in liberty and dedicated to the proposition
That-
that all men are created equal. We are engaged in a great civil war under Vietnam. Testimony that nation, any nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom. That the government of the people, by the people. Is that all?
For the people shall not.
Perish from the earth.
Very good.
Abraham. Is that all of it, Albert? Do you know? Oh, he can't talk.
He can't talk. How come he can't talk?
I don't know.
Oh, they're not supposed to know
And
that he's
his
over there
voice-
filming
His
this?
voice is,
All right, so you want to tell me more about school?
I
All
want
right,
to...
put that down over there.
This is all done.
Yep.
I don't know if I should be talking or I shouldn't be talking.
No, you want to tell me more about school?
Yeah, I want to... Tell me when I should talk. It's all right? Go and talk. Oh, like that. Yeah, when I was in the 8th grade, we used to have only the 8th grade used to have like a meeting once a month, class meeting, right?
Yeah.
And and we went to our history teacher, and our history teacher's name was Miss Mann. She was a very refined person. She was 80 years old, and I used to think 80 years old, my goodness, whoever heard of such an old age?
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, I'm going to recite the Gettysburg Address for her because she was all history, you know. So I recited the Gettysburg Address, and on my report card she gave me 100.
She did?
She
Fantastic.
did. Isn't that something?
Great.
It tell you, I'm catching up. I feel better.
Good.
Okay. See, the wine made me drunk.
It did, huh? You don't look drunk to me.
No?
No.
I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
So what else you want to tell me about school?
Oh. Well, that finished. That was my 8th grade. Then we won't go.
No.
You don't want to hear any more about it.
How and when you met Dad?
Oh yeah, I have to go all the way. Well, I mean, look at him.
You gotta remember who he was? Huh?
Well, I'll tell you, he was a family friend because with the sisters, Aunt Antoinette and Aunt May, we were girlfriends.
Yeah.
Aunt Lucy went to school with Aunt Antoinette, and I went to school with Aunt May in high school. And I knew she had this wonderful brother.
This handsome
debonair. Dashing.
Raymond Vetrini. Yeah.
Oh, boy, I had my eyes on him. So one Halloween party.
Right.
We Antoinette and Aunt May, we had a party at Dad's house. And we had a nice time.
Did everybody wear costumes?
Yeah, I think we did.
What were you dressed up as?
A gypsy.
And what was Dad dressed up as?
He wasn't in the party. He just came in like it. I don't know. He was out busy or something. But it was all kids that we knew. Like.
Yeah. And how old were you then? How old?
Oh, let's see. I was about my 20s. About 20 years old.
Early 20s.
Yeah, 20 early.
Yeah.
And. He came in, boy, but I don't think he even looked at me.
He didn't even look at you,
He didn't
huh?
even look at me. So I brought in a couple of cakes, you know, and the following day he asked his sister, and Antoinette, he said, oh, I like her. That
Oh, he said, who was that little honey over there, huh?
He better say that. I'm going to drink a little wine. And he said he liked my cake.
Yeah.
So we always used to go out together, a bunch of us, like, we were all family, like my cousin Red, cousin Tony, Antoinette May, Aunt Lucy, myself, and Dad. We would come down the shore and go swimming in Long Branch and all that stuff, you know. And, you know, I never knew if I was going to come with him. I don't know if he was going to be my boyfriend or what. Well, to make a long story short, my parents came down to the shore.
Yeah.
And he came one Sunday, I think, with Uncle Sal and Aunt May. And so somebody said, let's go and take a ride in Long Branch. And there was a beautiful new apartment there. And we stopped, you know, and got out of the car. And, oh, beautiful. And you don't remember this. And he said to me, how would you like to spend a honeymoon in a place like that?
Oh, really?
Oh, boy, that did it.
Oh, really? That was it? So that was his proposal?
That was his proposal. And then, you remember? Oh, go on.
Well, how long did you go out with
about
Dan?
almost 2 years. But most of the time, he had bought the store in Red Bank,
Uh-huh.
and I hardly saw him.
Oh, he had owned the store in Red Bank
He
before
bought
you
it.
guys were married?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I see.
That's why he married me, so I could
I
work
see.
in the store.
He needed some help.
He never told me. So, I see him very seldom. He'd take a ride and would come up by train, right? And we'd go to the movies about like, once a month, every 2 months. And then one night my dad got up and we were home by 10:30, and you should have seen my father.
Oh, really? Is that late, 10:30?
That was late.
Uh-oh. So what happened?
So he...
He banned Dad from the house?
Well, he said, boy, you come home so late for like
Uh-huh.
this is too late. And I don't know, we missed the bus or we walked home, right? We went to the Branford or Schubert. They were great big theaters at that time. And so that was, then my father went back to bed, and I went to bed crying because I said he'll never come back again. Right? You don't remember, you don't. This is...
You don't remember, does he?
65 years ago. Not to be exact, every bit of 62, 63.
With your best recollection, tell me where you were born, and what's the date and year you were born?
Born in 1903
Yeah.
in New York City on Bleecker Street.
What's the date?
The date was October the 20th.
On Bleecker Street, New York.
Yes.
Okay. And how long did you live there on Bleecker Street?
I don't remember that. I was a baby, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then my father and mother,
Uh-huh.
they bought a store in Newark
They did on Ferry
on
Street?
Ferry Street.
Uh-huh.
And I was there for a little while,
How
but
many
don't
years?
remember
You
that.
you remember how many
No,
years you
but
stayed there?
When they took me back to Ogno.
To Ogno in Italy?
Yep.
Uh-huh. I see.
I was raised over there
Okay.
by the two grandmother.
By your mother's mother and your father's mother?
Yes.
Okay. And how long did you stay there?
I stayed there until I was 16 years old.
Okay. And what did your grandmothers do? How did they make a living? Were their husbands with them?
Well, my grandmother, Antoinette,
Uh-huh.
she was living with her grandfather,
Yeah.
and they farmed.
They farmed?
Yeah.
So everything they got was through farming?
Yes.
Uh-huh. In the town of Ogno.
And the other grandmother, she was living alone,
Uh-huh.
but she had a daughter and
Yeah.
two sons, and they were in America, both of them.
I see. And how did she make a living? Did she farm too or not?
No.
No? I see.
Well, she had a little land. I guess they had great vineyard,
Uh-huh.
and they raised potatoes and corn.
Yeah. I see.
She had a sister there.
All right, just a minute now. What can you tell me about your grandfather? Oh, no, about your father and mother. Didn't you tell me at one time that they came from orphans? They were orphans?
That's the way I understand it. They were both raised up. They were taken in Ogno
Yeah.
by the family,
Yeah. So, okay.
by the family, and they were raised there.
So you're the people you speak about, your grandmother on your mother's side and grandmother on your father's side, they really weren't your blood grandpa. They
no.
were people who took your mother and father on because they were orphans.
Right.
Oh.
And they were raised in the town there of Ogno,
Yeah,
and eventually they married.
I see. All right, so what can you tell me about what you can remember about your childhood in Italy?
My childhood in Italy.
I mean, what did you do as a young boy? Like, I assume that you were over there when you were like 4 or 5.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I lived with a grandmother up in Ogno.
Uh-huh. Where
And-
was Ogno in regards to, what was the closest city to Ogno? Genoa?
Chiavari.
Calvary?
Chiavari.
Oh, Chiavari. And then how far away was Genoa?
Genoa was about 40, 50 kilometers.
Okay, but when we think of what dialect we speak, you speak Genoese, right?
Yes,
Of the Italian dialect?
yes.
Genoese, okay.
Then also we had a dialect of our own,
Yeah, what was
you know,
that?
but Ogno.
Oh, it was an Ogno dialect.
They break up
It's
everything.
like a slang, huh?
Yeah.
I see.
Yep.
Okay.
And after I got to be 12 years old, I went to live with my father's mother, down in La Croza.
Okay, La Croza.
La Croza.
Okay, how far away was that from Ogno?
Oh, about a half a mile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you have
And,
your own room as a boy? Where did you
Yes,
sleep? Did you have your own room?
yes.
How many other children were in the house?
None.
Just you?
Yeah, just me.
I see. And did you help out? What was it, a farm?
It was a farm,
What
and
did
I
you-
helped out on a
Oh,
farm.
you did? Like,
Little by little,
tell me some of the things you did on a farm.
I cut hay
You did what, with a sickle?
with a sickle,
Uh-huh. And
and I picked chestnut.
okay, and what'd you do with the hay? You fed the livestock with the hay?
We dry it up and fed the livestock.
I see.
Grandfather had 2 cows,
Yeah,
chicken,
I see.
and I had big rabbits.
You did, huh?
Yeah.
You keep them in a pen?
Keep them in a pen.
Uh-huh. Now, you told me a story one time about when, I don't know how old you were, but it was the first experience you had with smoking. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
remember, do you remember what happened then? Tell
Yeah.
me that story.
This was when grandfather used to chew his Italian tobacco.
Yeah.
Then he would take it and put it on the windowsill to dry.
Oh, yeah. And then
When it was dry,
he'd smoke them?
it was smoke. He
I
was
see.
smoking.
I see.
So one day, there was a cousin of mine that happened to be there,
Uh-huh.
and myself. We took 2 pipes, loaded up with Italian tobacco,
Uh-huh.
and we started smoking. We got so sick, we thought the world was at an end. We're going like this,
Everything was spinning around, huh?
spinning around. In the outhouse. My grandmother came out
Yeah.
looking for us. She saw us in there, and she saw that we were sick,
Uh-huh.
and we told him what happened. We got a licking beside. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so how long did you stay in Italy?
I stayed in Ogno until I was 16.
Yeah.
Then grandfather and grandmother came to America to visit all their son.
You mean, your grandmother and grandfather or your mother and father? No, your mother and father were still back over here in the United States at the time you were in Italy. Is that right? Were they still?
Yes.
Okay. So then your grandmother and grandfather came back to the United States to visit
Yes.
their children.
And they
They
drove
brought
it
you.
back.
I see. Okay.
And that was I was about 16 or 17
Now,
years old.
did you pass through Ellis Island coming back?
Yes,
You
but I
did.
actually don't remember it.
You don't remember?
I remember that we were on a boat,
Uh-huh.
on a ship for 17 days.
Wow.
And I was sick as a dog.
Really? And that,
The only thing I could eat was dry nuts
Is
and
that right?
dry bread.
uh-huh. I see.
So from there, we landed in Ellis Island,
Yeah.
and Uncle Joe was there to meet us.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was my father at that time.
I see. Oh, so you haven't seen your father since you was a little boy. You forgot what really he looked
Oh,
like.
yeah, I didn't know what he was.
I see.
Actually, not even my mother.
Uh-huh. I see. Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I went up in Newark where they were living. They had the store
On Ferry Street.
on Ferry Street.
Okay.
And I stayed there and helped out in the store
Uh-huh.
until I was about 22 years old.
So from age, what, 12 to
From
20?
age to 22,
22, you worked in the luncheonette.
yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, they had a candy store, fruit store, and ice cream. I don't recall.
All right, so really, we got a recap now on this. You just said to me that you came over when you were 12, but that was wrong. You come
That
really
was
come
wrong.
when you were 16,
Yeah,
back to the United States, and you come back on the
Columbus.
Columbus was the name of the ship.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. And do you remember the date and the year or not?
no,
Okay.
no,
All
don't
right,
remember.
So then you worked in a store.
Yeah, with
until
my
you were-
father,
with
my
your father
father,
and mother until you were 22.
until I was 22.
And then what did you do?
After that, my father wanted to sell the store,
Yeah.
so I wound up working in several places.
Oh.
I worked for the telephone company
What did you do for them?
at night. We
Yeah.
were cleaning up the new places. There was chalk mark all over.
Oh, in their buildings? You
Yeah,
were
in the building.
working like in the maintenance
Yeah,
department?
at night.
I see. Okay.
Then I worked,
How long did you stay with them?
oh, not very long, about
Uh-huh.
a month or so at night.
Yeah.
Then I worked for a while in the Devo Paint Company,
Oh, yeah?
where they made paint.
In Newark?
Yes.
What'd you do there?
Load up boxes
Boxes full of paint?
full of paint,
Gallons of paint?
gallon of paint.
Uh-huh.
And from there I quit. I went to work for Henry Ford in Kearney Meadow.
Okay. And they manufactured automobiles?
Manufactured
What'd you do? Work on
the
the
truck on the
Oh,
assembly
truck.
line.
You worked on the assembly line?
Yeah, for about 5-6 months
And what was specifically was your job in the plant to do? What did you do?
to get under the conveyor and put washers and bolts on a truck.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And you had a big
Wrench?
wrench to tighten them up.
I see. And you worked there for 5 or 6 months?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then from there,
What did they pay you now when you worked there?
the weekly pay was $27.
$27 a week.
$27 a week.
40 hours or more than 40 or 48 hours?
I don't remember how many hours.
Uh-huh.
And the pay by the telephone was the same thing at 27, but the pay by the paint company was $20 a week.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
Big money.
Big money, yeah. All right, so what happened after you
Then
worked?
finally, I had two uncles in Red Bank,
Yeah,
which they owned a luncheonette, fruit and tobacco store.
yeah.
One of them sold me a share in the store
In the luncheonette?
In
Or
the
the
luncheonette.
whole thing?
and the whole thing.
Okay.
And I was there for 2.5 years.
I see. And how much was it? What did it cost you? Do you remember?
$2,500 for
For a share?
for a share.
What percentage of a partnership did that make you? A third or less?
No, half.
Oh, half.
Yeah.
And where did you get did you have the money yourself or you borrowed the
My
money?
father loaned me the money,
I see. Okay.
and we were there for about 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And my firstborn was born in Red Bank.
Uh-huh. Right.
Second was born in Red Bank.
Right.
And from there, after that, we had to get out. We lost the lease.
Uh-huh.
People will not make any more lease.
Yeah.
And from there, I wound up in East Rutherford with another luncheonette
I see. How did you hear about the luncheonette being available in East
through a
Rutherford?
salesman
Okay.
that knew that the place was for sale.
Uh-huh. I see.
And
And
we were there with my family for about until 1958.
Oh, so tell me what you can recollect about getting married.
Well, okay. After we had the store a couple of years, decided we were going to get married.
Uh-huh.
Of course, we first engaged, gave me a beautiful ring.
Uh-huh. How many carats? 20 carats?
About one.
Oh, okay.
Very nice ring. And then we got married.
Uh-huh. Where'd you get
St.
married?
James and Newark.
Uh-huh. What was
We
the
were
date?
married May 21st, 1930 at a nuptial mass.
Uh-huh.
Father Glover married us.
Father Glover?
Glover.
Uh-huh.
Father Ralph Glover.
Uh-huh.
I remember him.
Right.
And after we got married, we had a luncheon. I
Uh-huh.
don't remember the name of the place. Some like Branford Place.
That
in
was
Newark.
on Lawsey Street.
Also, Branford Place was right around there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We had a luncheon after the mass, and then a luncheon or dinner. I don't recall. And
How many people were at your reception?
oh, I say about 25. Just
25?
Only aunts and uncles.
And how many people were in your wedding party? Do you remember?
Oh yes.
Bridesmaids and...
Well, was Aunt Antoinette, Aunt May,
Uh-huh.
And Lucy,
Aunt Lucy,
Uh-huh.
and
your cousin,
no, I didn't have no ushers. And then Aunt Edith.
I
This
see.
is a while ago.
Uh-huh. And how many men were in it?
I don't think I had ushers.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
I
I don't
see.
think so. And after the dinner, we went to my house, and we had like a little more reception.
I see.
They were all just aunts and uncles.
Right.
And after that, we left for our honeymoon,
Now, where'd you go on your honeymoon?
Niagara Falls.
How did you get from Newark to Niagara
From
Falls?
Newark, Aunt May and Uncle Sal were supposed to take us to the railroad station,
Yeah.
Lackawanna Station on Broad Street.
Yeah.
We thought it was just the four of us, because they were going to drop us off.
Yeah.
We had made reservation with the train. And when we got there, all my cousins were there.
They were.
They were
Uh-huh.
all there.
Uh-huh.
And they started saying to everybody in the middle of the coach train, they're newlyweds, they're newlyweds,
Yeah.
they're newlyweds. And from there we went to our hotel, it was our honeymoon.
Uh-huh.
And then we only stayed 3 days and went back to Red Bank.
Uh-huh. And what do you remember about Niagara? What he wants to remember, he can remember.
Oh, yeah, he knows again.
When he doesn't want to listen to you, he says he can't remember.
You can say that again. How do you know? When there's dishes and things to be done, now you don't remember. That's why I get neighbors. I know he can do better.
Uh-huh,
I know,
right.
But okay.
So you spent 3 days on your
3 days
honeymoon
in our honeymoon. We were fit to be tied because his uncle wanted us back
to go to
to
work
the store.
Yeah,
To the
sure,
store.
go
Yes,
back
he
to
wanted
the
us
store.
back.
in Red Bank.
In Red
Yeah.
Bank,
I see.
yeah, Red
Okay.
Bank.
Uh-huh.
And
What did your honeymoon cost you? You remember?
see, I don't
I
remember.
don't remember that.
No.
I don't know. I think it
It was probably as much as $3 a night in the Temperance.
Yeah.
It was a nice place.
Was
a
it?
great,
Yeah.
great big hotel.
Uh-huh.
Great big hotel. And then there was lovely scenery there. And there was a lot, it wasn't built up. There was
Yeah.
a lot of big trees, and we carved our
We
name.
travel around the.
Yeah.
We travel around the
Falls.
The fall.
Oh,
no.
yeah,
In a
we
boat
have
with you had-
pictures.
with the rain
We
suits
went,
on?
yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
right. See that? You remember?
And you carved your initials in a tree
and
with
then,
with a heart on
yeah,
it?
yeah. And then we thought, well, someday we'll come back. And we went back, I don't know, with Raymond about 10 years ago, whatever. I don't know how many years we looked for, but everything was done.
Was it?
Everything was built.
Yeah.
There was
I
nothing
see.
there.
Nothing left, huh?
But the falls, it's a beautiful. Were you ever up there? You've
No.
been up? No?
Never
Nice.
been to
Really
Niagara
nice.
Falls is nice.
Yes.
You got a visit up there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's very nice.
All right, so then
Okay,
you
then the grudge started again.
come back to Red Bank.
But back to Red Bank, the slave pit.
Now his uncle
I'm only kidding.
his uncle was working in the store. When-
Well,
Oh, yes.
Aunt and uncle.
Yeah,
We
Aunt and
lived
uncle.
with
I
them.
see.
We went to
Okay.
live with
You
them.
lived upstairs in the
We lived
apartment?
upstairs. We shared our kitchen, and we had 3 rooms upstairs. We were really,
Uh-huh.
really nice.
I
Everything
see.
was remodeled, and
And how many hours a day did you both work in the store?
just open up the store in the morning.
I should open up the store in the morning and
until 6.
stop about 5 or 6 o'clock in the night.
Oh, I see.
And the uncle would take over. Aunt and
The
uncle
uncle
would
would
take
take
over.
And they would stay up until late?
Yeah,
I
see.
12 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
We had the day shift, and then they had the night shift.
I see. Okay, now take me to, you said earlier about the lease was up in the store in Red Bank,
Yeah.
and you had to, you found the store in East Rutherford as a result of a salesman who used to come into the Red Bank store.
Yeah.
And
Remember Sandy? You even remember him.
was it Sandy who found
Yeah, he
Sandy
found
was
the
a
store,
different
yeah.
man. It was
no,
a
it was
different man,
Sandy.
so-
It was Sandy.
All right.
Oh,
Sandy.
Sandy was the
Yeah.
salesman who found the store for you?
Yeah, he found the store.
Okay, so then you went up and made a deal to get that store.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was, do you remember what the rent was for the apartment and the store?
The rent in the store was $125 a month.
Uh-huh, for the store and
So,
the
and the apartment.
and the apartment, and that was 1933.
Yeah.
When
Okay,
you were about
6 months
6
old.
months old, you were born.
Right, so there was Raymond and myself.
Yeah.
Raymond was
Right.
2 and
Yeah,
I
Raymond
was,
was almost 3, and you were
6
about
months.
6 months.
I
Yeah.
see, okay. And that was the beginning of a successful career in the store
Successful
in East
career.
Rutherford.
And every time I was wanted, Daddy used to bring on the radiator. That meant that
Oh,
I had
every
to go
time
down.
he wanted you downstairs, he'd
Yeah.
That
tap
was
on
the
a
bell.
pipe.
Yeah, that was the bell. He would tap
Oh,
on the
okay,
radiator.
I see.
Yeah.
So how many hours a day were you subjected to working when you went to the East Rutherford store? 8 in the morning until 12 at night, every
Yeah.
night, every
7 in the morning
days a week?
until 1 o'clock in the night.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
right.
13,
What-
14, 15 hours a day.
Wow, and what, when you first got there, what brand of ice cream did you have when you got there?
Had
Borden's?
Gordon. That's
Borden's,
it.
and how about candy? What kind of
Candy, we had Whitman chocolate. We had Shrash.
Schrafft's? You also had a case full of like penny candy too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You used to sell penny candy.
Penny candy and
Uh-huh.
candy by the pound.
I used to put a clothespin in the back so you kids wouldn't get there and eat up the candy.
Oh, so we couldn't
you
open
couldn't reach it, yeah.
the cases to get at
Yeah.
the
It
candy?
used to be
Yeah.
all loose candy sold by the pound.
I see.
Yeah, and your father wanted to give you all the candy, and I would call it.
Oh, I see.
Because you wouldn't eat your dinners.
Uh-huh, right.
Okay.
Okay, and then you also had a little sandwich area in the luncheonette. You used to make sandwiches and
Yeah.
a
It
grill,
was almost
Yeah.
the
make
same.
hot and cold sandwiches.
Yeah, it was almost
Right.
the same. So we had
Coffee.
the fire. Then he remodeled. We had a new counter.
Right, you had about 10 or 12 stools at the
Yeah,
counter?
at the
Yeah.
counter. Yeah,
Uh-huh,
that
and
was
they had
the new
about
one.
maybe, 13, 14 booths?
Boots in the
Yeah,
back.
in
Where
the
people
back,
used to
right.
sit at?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And then what else? You had pinball machines and a jukebox in there?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
and what was the crowd at that time who used to come in the store? Were they young people?
They were all
Young
young,
people.
people.
All young
Yeah,
people?
mhm.
Mostly high school kids?
Yeah,
Yes.
mostly high
I
school
see.
kids. When I would work at lunchtime, I think it was some of you babies, I would leave you in the back of the carriage, and the girls from B&Ds would help. If you would cry, they would go to the carriage and take care
Oh,
of
the
you.
B&D was a nearby
Yeah,
factory?
Yeah,
When the
B&Ds.
office workers used to come in for
Yeah,
lunch?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I see,
Mhm.
okay. And what you can recall, Dad, tell me about the prices of
Grilled cheese.
the sandwiches and the ice cream in those days.
In
like
those days, at the
in
beginning
Yeah.
of
The
my
store.
career there,
What are the
hamburger and grilled cheese were 10 cents a
10
piece.
cents? Really?
Bacon, lettuce, and tomato was a quarter.
Really? And how much was a milkshake?
A milkshake was 20 cents.
20 cents.
Yep.
Okay. And what was
Coca-Cola was a nickel.
was a nickel? What was a cup?
Coffee was a nickel.
And what did a box of candy go?
A
You know,
box of
Schraff's
candy,
or
Schraff's
Whitman's?
went for $1 a quarter,
Is that right?
and Whitman was 2 and a quarter.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what about and the candy? The loose candy was a penny each.
Some-
Yeah,
Is that what it
penny
was?
each.
Then,
Yeah.
then by the pound also.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. And what?
Then the war broke out.
Okay. Now we're going up to the 40s. So the war broke out, of course, December 41. Oh, wait a minute. You come through like Depression years now.
Yes.
In the
Yeah,
30s.
right,
Can you
yeah.
recollect what they were like?
Well, the business wasn't too good,
Uh-huh.
and it just didn't start improve until the war broke out.
Then,
Okay, so you went all the way from like 33 to 41
Yeah.
with pretty
Yeah.
bad business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you have to get any loans to
No.
sustain
No,
yourself? or you
no,
managed?
we done enough to pay our bill
we paid our
and
bill.
pay our mortgage.
I see. Okay. Uh-huh. All right.
And
And by the way, who owned the building?
The building was owned
Sinoski.
by
Mr. Sinoski.
Mr. Sinoski.
And
He had a stationery store.
he had a stationery store right kind of like 3 or
Yeah.
4 doors
Yes,
away.
yes.
Okay. All right.
And next door we had a baker shop,
Eccles
the
Bakery,
Eccles,
right?
Eccles Bakery.
Right. And right 2 doors away you had a drugstore.
That drugstore
By
on
the
the
name of
corner.
Staley's
Mrs. Staley,
Drugstore, and he also had a little ice cream fountain,
Yes.
but he never did much in it because you
No.
used to take a lot of
No.
business away from
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yep. Okay, all right, so now we're
Okay, now
up,
up to 1941.
okay, when the war
Yeah.
broke out.
Could I talk about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Albert was a baby and I was feeding him, and Dad went came running up the up the stairs,
Uh-huh.
and he said Pearl Harbor was attacked.
Uh-huh,
And from that day on was war. That's all we
yeah,
heard about.
uh-huh. Well, you also had another son, Ronald.
Yes.
When was Ronald born?
He was born 1938.
Uh-huh,
1938, and
uh-huh, okay, all right, and Albert was born when?
1941.
1941, and
Right, Albert?
he was born
Yeah.
in July of 1941.
July 7, 1941.
Right.
He was a war baby.
Okay, now a lot of the young fellas who were coming in the store at the time, because the war broke out, all of those young fellas went off to the service
Right,
and
Yes.
off to war, right?
right.
Yes.
And I remember that Dad used to have like a big chart in the store
Yes.
of all the names,
Yeah.
With the name and
the
gold
names of the
star.
guys,
Yeah.
right?
They were killed.
And
Some
the
never
guys who
came
were
back.
killed, they used to put a gold star
Yeah.
next to their name.
Some of those boys never came back.
That's
even
right.
On a furlough. They
Uh-huh.
just were,
Yeah, they went into service, they
They
never
went-
come home, they
never
went to
come
the
home.
war and they were killed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Uh-huh. Okay, all right, now, after the war, well, during the war, business was good?
Yeah, it was booming.
Oh, it was
Uh-huh.
very good.
It was booming.
On a Sunday, we used to, that was a lot, $150 in a day.
You did?
That was.
Yeah.
That was a boomer day,
that
yeah?
was a
And the
boomer day.
machine
And the
took a lot of.
machine.
What machine? The pinball
The
machine?
pinball machine.
I see,
The
okay.
nickel machine, yeah.
Uh-huh. So
Made
they
a
were
lot of
big
money
money
on that.
Oh,
makers.
yeah. He
Yeah.
used to pay his rent. That
Uh-huh.
machine used to pay his rent.
Okay.
I never let Mr. Sinusky know how much because he would have raised my rent.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I had to go downstairs when the man counted the money so that he wouldn't chip me.
Oh, yeah.
Had to
All
count
right.
the money
Now,
upstairs.
as a young boy, I can remember being in the store, and you used to put in a full day there, that at the end of the day, a lot of the fellas who used to hang out in the store, you guys used to close the store and you used to go downstairs in the cellar,
Oh, yes.
and play cards.
Play cards.
right?
I didn't
And so-
even know about it.
You didn't know about it? And some of the guys there were Specky Gould,
Lucky Gold, Nibs,
Whistle.
Nibs Elliott, who else?
Whistle?
and
Whistle?
Whistle,
Uh-huh.
the two lawyer,
Who? John
what-
Grady and Charlie
John Grady
Bartlett?
and,
Charlie Bartlett?
yeah.
Uh-huh, okay. All right.
Then we had the two lawyers across the street that always came in the store, D'Amato
And Flanagan.
Flanagan.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I remember. Okay.
And
All right. For the high school kids
Yes, after the
coming
ball
in
game.
and mobbing the place
Yeah.
after the
After
football
the
game,
ball
the
game.
basketball
Shoulder.
games, right?
Shoulder to shoulder.
You couldn't, and nobody could get in there. It was so packed,
Yeah.
right? Ray's Luncheonette was the cornerstone of attention in East Rutherford,
Yeah.
right?
let's say that. Let's put it that way.
Okay, right. All right. Now, needless to say, I know that you know Dad put in a lot of hours, and you put in a lot of hours in the store,
The
and,
new boys all helped.
and the sons helped out a little
we
bit.
made sure that, you know, you all
Right.
were there to help.
Uh huh.
And
Okay.
if Dad wanted me to go down a little more, I'd say, you go down for me. Go ahead.
Oh
So
yeah.
one of you guys always helped out.
Now, there's you of course used to store a lot of stuff in the cellar, a lot of the stuff you'd use to cook with upstairs, and used to make your own chocolate syrup in the
Yeah.
cellar, right? And used to have a little problem with the rats.
Oh!
Yeah.
Don't bring that up.
Well,
How
tell
could
me,
you?
tell me the story about the time
Oh.
you went downstairs and there was a rat running on the coal bin, the top of the coal bin, and tell me what happened with that situation. You remember that situation?
Yes, there was a drainage above the gas meter
Right. Okay.
made of iron,
Right.
Whatever.
and bits of food and nuts would come down from upstairs in there,
Okay.
and those things used to come there and
eat in there.
and eat it.
Okay.
So one morning I get up, put the lights on, and there was a big one over there.
How could you bring
I
that
took
up?
my
Shotgun was a 410.
the 410,
410 single shot shotgun.
Yes.
Right.
and I shot at the animal,
Uh huh.
and some of the pellet
Uh huh.
that went down and put a big hole into the gas
Uh
tank,
huh. Gas meter.
the gas meter.
Uh-huh.
So I got panic,
Right.
opened up the outside
Cellar doors.
cellar door,
Let the gas out. Right.
took a big pail of water, throw it in the boiler to put the fire out,
Right.
and holler for the firemen.
So the fireman came?
No,
No?
I think across the street, Tommy was there with
Tommy
a
who
store.
owned a
Yeah,
fruit
he
and
came
vegetable
over
store.
with a wrench, and we shut the gas off,
I see. Okay.
and nothing happened.
Did you have to get a new meter? No?
Did you
Yeah, we had to get a new
did you
meter.
get the little critter or did you miss him?
I think I missed him.
Which is very unusual for you when you shoot at something. To
Yeah.
miss, right. Okay. Now,
History repeats itself.
right. Now remember also in those days.
I'm so happy today.
In fact, I think as long as you had the whole store, you used to heat the store by how?
By coal,
Coal. And you had a coal bin in the cellar,
coal bin.
right? You had a coal chute that the guy used to come with
Yeah,
a coal
right.
truck and run the coal down the
Do you
chute
remember
into
any
a
of
bin.
that?
Sure I
Do
do.
you remember? I can't talk to you.
I don't remember if Al remembers.
He don't
that.
remember anything.
He doesn't?
He was the baby.
Okay. And so there are endless amount of funny stories that took place. And, you know, your sons and many of your friends have kidded you about them down on through the years. But of course, the infamous subject pertaining to the store was the famous chocolate syrup
Yeah.
that Dad used to make in the
I
store,
used
right?
to smell it upstairs.
Right. Now tell us the story behind it. Why did you make the chocolate syrup yourself?
because it was cheaper to be made.
All right.
I should buy the Coke and the
Right.
sugar.
Right. And you used to boil it
Boil
downstairs
it together.
on a fire, on a stove
While I was working in the store, I would put a sign on the cash register
to remind you
to remind me that
it was cooking
they were
downstairs.
cooking down there.
And then what happened?
And 8 times out of 10 I forget it, and the chocolate syrup went all over the stove and over the floor.
Okay.
Boy, when I sold the store to the new owner,
Yeah.
he had to take a chisel and chisel all that.
Okay. Ready?
All set, all good.
All right. So, what stories do you remember about the store that we overlooked?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That way back when we had that snowstorm, I think you went to Maine. That's quite way back.
What happened then? A
It was a
snowstorm?
There
snowstorm.
was a big
Oh,
snowstorm.
that was when he went. I
Yeah.
didn't go that year.
No,
Oh, we didn't tell that. Remember?
I don't remember the story.
I don't.
we start out.
Oh, no, you didn't start. I was already.
It was
gone.
snowing
The
when you
snow
started
was-
out?
All the lights were out. All the lights were out for a week.
No
Yeah.
electric.
No ice cream.
All the ice cream went kaput.
Oh,
No,
yeah, I
remember
remember
that?
that.
I
Yeah,
remember
okay. It
that.
was a snowstorm and all electricity
Yeah, I
went out.
wonder what year that was. I don't remember.
Oh, it was probably in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already hearing us, what we're saying? Albert? Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
he can't talk, I see. Okay.
I know what I wanted to ask you. Oh, tell a story about the fire in the store. Remember we had the fire in the
Yeah.
40s? That was around what, 1940, what, before the war or after? It was during the war. It was during the war, wasn't it?
It was before the war, during the war.
During the war,
Yes.
okay. And how did the fire, we had a fire in the store, how did the fire get started?
Well, we blamed the stove that I left it on,
Yeah,
and there was a windowy curtain
yeah,
alongside there, and it caught fire, and during the night they woke us up that the place was in flame.
I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember.
Mrs. Echo knocked on the wall.
Yeah.
I didn't
So,
think for her.
We wouldn't have heard?
No,
No, I remember we used to
Wasn't
have
the metal ceiling.
we had a metal ceiling in the
that's what
store.
saved us.
And that's what prevented the fire from going upstairs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hadn't she
And,
knocked on the floor, we would have, on the
people came along, and Johnny Romanelli happened to come.
No, that was the other
That was the
fire.
other
Oh, that was the other
yeah.
fire?
That was the other fire.
Oh, yeah,
That was
okay.
not that fire.
Finish this one. And you know, how long you were closed? About 2 months, right?
Yeah,
You had to have everything ripped out, you put everything in new.
everything, new fountain, new chair, new
Everything
seat,
new.
Right.
new ceiling, and everything.
Everything,
Uh-huh.
the whole works.
Yeah, and when was the second fire? Got to be like in the 50s.
Yeah, I think about
And
that.
how did that one start? Do you remember?
No, it was from next door, really.
Oh,
Fire
that's right,
started
from
next
the,
door, rest of
grocery
us-
store
From the
next
grocery
door.
store.
Grocery
yes.
store.
And Johnny Romanelli,
Came along,
yeah,
and
you were closed now?
no, yeah, we were closed at that
Well, it was only
time,
smoke,
and it happened that I went to grab all my guns.
Yeah.
So Johnny Romanelli says, "Where's your wife?" I said, "She's coming."
So you had all the guns going out,
The
but
gun.
you left mother upstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
And the first fire we had, I got all you kids out
Right.
from the rooms and brought you downstairs. And he was on by the secretary.
I remember he was trying to get in the desk, he lost the key.
Get the money.
Yeah, and he took the chair,
Yeah,
and he hit
And
the
banged it.
secretary desk with the
We
chair.
We
Was to
still
break
have
the
that.
chair?
We still have that secretary that's got a big
Dent in it,
knock.
yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
He
garage.
went for the money. I went for
Yeah.
you kids. Wanted to say, Albert was a baby. He was in the crib.
Oh,
And I
yeah?
used to put him in the living room because he would just, I don't know, he would keep me awake, and I opened the door. I was afraid to open the door. You
Uh-huh.
never know, there may have been,
Yeah.
you know, a fire.
Uh-huh.
So we went. You want to tell the story? Or you want me to finish? want to
No,
tell
go ahead, you say.
If I butt in and say something sometimes,
It's all right.
I help him to
Yeah,
drink
remember.
my tablecloth.
Okay.
So after we got downstairs, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. We went across the street to Mrs. Remember that real stout woman?
Across the
They had
street?
the
They had a
tavern.
tavern. Her daughter was Dolly.
Oh, Ercolino.
Oh, Mrs.
Ercolino.
Ercolino, yeah.
Yes, I
And
remember.
And she took us in,
I remember that.
and we stayed there until everything was clear.
Uh-huh,
And that was it.
uh-huh.
And then we stayed close about 2 months.
Yeah.
After that, I hope he was careful with the fire.
Uh-huh.
He left me a coffee pot on. I just heard about it.
Right.
I thought that
Right.
you said that.
Tell me about the time when all the kids used to come in after the football games. What a madhouse the store used to
Oh
be.
my
huh?
God.
Huh? Wall-to-wall kids?
They used to come in drove, and it was a madhouse. The store you couldn't move.
First thing he would say, did you collect? Did you collect? Don't give him anything until you collect. Remember?
That's right.
Make sure did you collect, and it was a job to keep track if they could get away with it.
Tell me about the time you bounced a cup off a bottle of Julio's head.
Oh, shit.
How did that develop?
That developed this way. The guy that had a heart attack, what is his name there?
Oh, Mike Ferrara, no.
Not Mike Ferrara. He lives on right there. There was.
I can't remember.
So what happened?
What happened?
Well, this fellow was in the store, and Ronnie was behind the counter with me,
Uh-huh.
and he started making fun of Ronnie because he had a speech.
Yeah,
He had
impediment.
an impediment.
Right,
So I got so mad that I took the malted milk cup
right,
and tried to hit him,
right.
and I missed him,
Yeah.
and I hit Bob Lahula.
Uh-huh. Where'd you hit him, in the head?
Hit him in the head. He's got a cut, a mark here.
Uh-huh.
The mother was so mad, and I paid the doctor bill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wasn't there, right? This was,
No.
I wasn't there, right?
No.
When this happened.
So you were both had the store from about 1933 to about 1959.
Yes.
58?
58.
Okay, and then what happened? What
Well,
We decided we want to get out.
did you want to get out of the store?
We were tired. We were tired of staying so many hours,
Uh-huh.
from morning to night, from morning to night.
How many hours a day?
Well, I average 15 hours a day,
How many-
easy.
How many
More.
days? Two days a week?
2 days, every day of the week.
What about my hours? Nobody mentioned my hours.
How many did you put in?
Sunday was the longest.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, during the war especially.
And did your
Oh.
sons work in the store at all?
Oh, yeah. you
Oh
never-
yeah, all my son helped.
They all
Okay.
help. How much did you pay them?
Nothing.
Did he pay you or didn't he pay you?
I don't remember.
We used to give
But
them-
they helped themselves.
Yeah, we used to eat everything
Cash
free.
register.
Right,
Cash register was there, right?
right.
Right.
Okay, and then you decided to leave, and where did you intend to go to when you sold the store?
Pleasant, right?
I decided to come to Point Pleasant, and one Saturday afternoon I came down fishing.
Uh-huh,
I rode around with my car,
uh-huh,
and I got on Bay Avenue, and I saw the home there by the Popovich.
uh-huh. Was
And
he a builder?
Yeah,
A builder? Uh-huh,
Popovich was the builder. And I went to talk to him, and he gave me a price,
uh-huh.
$16,500.
$16,500
Yeah,
in
I
1959.
should have bought 6.
That's
Yeah.
right. Should have bought the whole town.
Yeah. And
The man next door wanted to buy this lot before the house was built for
Yeah.
$1,000. He took it down.
For $1,000?
$1,000.
Really?
And I came down the next weekend. I gave him a deposit, and
That was it.
then I sold the store practically for nothing. And I
What'd you
got
sell
out.
the store for? How much?
Oh,
7,000.
7,000.
$7,000?
Yeah. That's
Uh-huh. Huh. Well, you didn't own the building.
No, but the store was worth more than
What
that.
what should you have sold it for?
I should have got at least $12,000.
12,000.
Yeah.
I see.
I think he was
And
so
who'd you sell it
anxious
to?
to get away like it.
Yeah.
A crazy Dutchman.
What was his name?
I forgot his name.
Uh,
Anybody remember his name?
Heidi or
Walter.
Heidi.
Walter?
Walter and Heidi.
Walter and Heidi.
I don't
Yeah.
remember his name.
Nazi.
Watch yourself what you say before you when you get in trouble.
All right. Then you moved down to Shore.
We moved on ashore.
And then what did you do? Did you completely retire? Or did you go to work?
I went to work practically for nothing.
What'd you go to work for?
Mr. Salamini,
Hey, what did he have?
he had a restaurant and he'd pay you in the dark.
And what did you do? Remain a housewife?
Oh, I was a housewife.
Or did you go out
I used
and
to
get a
dream-
job?
I was to dream, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to get a job. This went on until 2 years ago. I've got to get myself a job. I was just in my mind, but I never thought of going out looking for one.
Right.
I really didn't want one, I just dreamt about it.
I see.
And then after that,
Wait a minute now. You're working for Solomon. What was the name of the place you worked in?
Beacon
The
Manor.
Beacon Man, was that a hotel?
Yeah,
So,
motel and hotel and
Where is
motel.
it, on the ocean? On the
Yeah,
beach?
yeah,
Uh-huh. And the name of the owner was Salamini.
Salamini.
And what did you do for him?
Don't ask.
Everything?
Everything. He did everything, right?
Washing machine to wash clothes.
Oh, yeah? You ran a washing machines to wash all the linens and the
Yeah.
laundry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
He was a super guy, super laundry man.
Uh-huh.
and
right.
after that,
How long did you work for him?
about 5-6 years I was there.
Oh, yeah, then you went to
Then you went to work for a builder,
Mr.
right?
Short, Mr. Van Short. Mr. Van Short.
Van Scoik.
Van Squirt building.
Oh.
Yeah. What did you do for them?
Carpenter work.
Uh-huh. I see.
Painting, your first time out
Painting
painting.
and
I don't think he liked this paint too much, so he put him on different kinds of work.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
How long did you work for them?
I was there about 5-6
Until-
years.
Until he retired, 1970, wait a minute, the year that,
Yeah.
1980.
He-
I retired in 75.
75?
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, that was
And how old were you, 75, when you retired? How
Well,
old?
well, we came here in 58, and
Yeah.
58, 68, 78. How old he was?
How old was you, about 70?
About 70, yeah.
Uh-huh. I see. Any investments down here in Point Pleasant at all?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I invested in 5 apartments.
Yeah. What were they, summer cottages?
Yes, some is the rental
Efficiency apartments.
Uh-huh. On the beach?
on the beach.
Yeah.
And we kept them for, I don't know, about 16, 18 years.
Uh-huh. And how was that, a pretty good deal?
Yes.
What'd you buy them for? How much did you...
$38,000.
Uh-huh. 38,000.
And
What did you sell it for?
and we sold it for $115,000.
115,000. And what kind of income did you get from it during the summertime? $5,000-6,000?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And who used to take care of the, both you and Mom?
Mother, yeah.
Yeah, we
Go and
both
take
took
care of it?
Mother and Dad.
After every group of people would move out every
Right,
week,
yeah.
you'd go in there
We
and
got a
clean
chart
up?
from the real estate.
Uh-huh.
They were rented to the real estate.
Right. And who was the real estate people?
Hayes
Hayes,
and
Inlet.
Inlet.
Inlet Realty? Uh-huh.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Daniels.
Yep.
That's about it.
Uh-huh.
Mrs. Ball at times. That was about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys, since you've been down here,
Yeah.
since you moved down to Point Pleasant, you've had been lucky enough and fortunate enough to take a lot of trips.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
Our
Right.
first trip was 1964.
Where did you go to?
Do you want to tell us, should I?
No, go ahead, you talk, you talk.
It's just
You talk.
not that I don't want you to say it, whatever. 1964, August 1964, we made a trip to Italy,
Yeah.
and we stayed there almost 3 months.
You did?
Yeah, we went. I don't remember the name of the. Do you remember the name of the ship? The Julius Caesar, I think.
No, no, it was Christopher Columbus.
No, well, we don't remember.
Maybe it was the Leonardo da Vinci.
No, we did have.
How about the Benito Mussolini?
No, the Leonardo da Vinci, we did go on one of those ships, but that was to the Caribbean.
Uh-huh,
One of those.
okay.
And we stayed in Europe almost 3 months, and we had a ball.
Where did you stay?
Oh, well, at hotels.
Oh, at different
Yeah.
hotels around the whole country?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
didn't Dad go
Italy-
back to his hometown?
Yes, we
Yeah,
went
we
to
did.
Italy. We
Uh-huh.
went to his
You visit
hometown.
Onyo?
You went to Onyo?
Went
What's
to
Onyo?
Onyo,
The
that's the
town where you were born?
towns where I was raised.
Where you were raised, that's right.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And see all the people that I left over there for so many years,
The relatives?
relative, cousin,
Uh-huh,
and the old folks.
yeah,
And then we went to France,
you did.
we went to Switzerland,
Wow, uh-huh.
and we traveled all
We
throughout
went to
Italy.
Spain, we went to Portugal, and that was about it. France, Switzerland, Spain,
Uh-huh.
Portugal. And then back, we left from Italy, from Genoa,
Uh-huh,
on a big ship.
yeah,
And when we were in Italy, we visited my side of the family.
you did.
My
Uh-huh.
mother.
In Naples?
In
Yeah,
Naples.
near Naples. So
And who
I
did you
know.
manage to see there? Your mother's?
My cousins,
Cousin.
my mother's sister's children.
I
Well,
see.
We were cousins.
Uh-huh.
And
Were they Michellis as well, or
no,
not?
not on my mother's side. They weren't Michellis.
Oh, what were they?
Well, the married sister had 3 or 4 children, and their name, her mother, my mother's married sister's name was, what was the priest's name here? I can't think of it. Marinello.
Oh, yeah?
Marinello. And we met him. By the way, he met us at the ship the day we got into Naples.
Really?
Our
Uh-huh.
landing was in Naples, and he met us at the ship with a bunch of friends and relatives.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, we went to our hotel room. We had a beautiful party.
Oh, yeah?
And the following day, he came again, and he brought us to all Naples, all down Naples.
Uh-huh.
And we spent about 3 or 4 days with him.
Yeah.
And then we carried on again. Across it from, we said, a beautiful, all Americans, you know, they're all tourists. These hotels are all tourists, beautiful place. And across the street was a restaurant, but I think even the people in America knew the name was Santa Lucia.
Oh, really?
Beautiful. Remember the Italian food there?
Yeah.
And it was right on the bay,
Yeah.
Bay of Naples. And we took the Bay of Naples and went to Capri.
Oh, you
That was-
did?
Yeah.
Wow, that was some trip, so you got for 3
Oh,
months.
3
Yeah,
months.
almost
Now,
3
since
months.
that trip, you guys have done a lot of trips
the
Oh, yeah.
all around the world. Tell us where else, tell me
let's
where else
see.
you went to.
We went to, we went twice or 3 times to Italy.
You did?
4 times to Italy.
Wow, 4 times you went
3 or
to
4
Yeah.
times Rome. We saw the Pope.
Mhm.
And
Where's Pope now?
Pope, I saw the Pope,
JP2 or who?
the first one before that was Paul the Sixth.
Paul
Paul
VI.
VI.
Paul the
Six,
Sixth,
yeah.
and then
Then John
yes,
John the
present Pope
23rd?
now. No, I didn't see him.
You didn't see him? He was
Paul-
the big heavy set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul the Second, the one that's reigning now.
Right, uh-huh.
And we were right by him.
Oh,
I
yeah?
was so
Did he give
thrilled.
you his blessing?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
he was
that's
right
so
along the
edifying.
chariot in his
Uh-huh.
white robes, and he goes all along the fence and blesses everybody.
Oh, yeah?
I was so overtaken, I went into hysterics. I couldn't believe
Really?
it. I was
Uh-huh.
so near to him.
Uh-huh.
And we took a lot of trips there when we were in Italy. And,
Trip to Israel,
yeah,
mentioned
then
now.
We went to Israel 3 times,
Yeah.
and
To
after-
Greece.
To Greece.
Been to Greece?
To Greece.
Yeah.
How many times were you in Israel? Once or twice?
No, twice.
We
I
went
think we
twice.
went twice to Israel.
Uh-huh.
And then we took a trip to Greece, and with a 1-day trip on the, what's the name of that river? Do you remember that
The
day
Nile.
trip? No, Albert in Greece,
You can't-
1-day trip.
Now, you also went, did you go to Egypt?
Oh, we were ready at the airport to go to Egypt.
Yeah,
and
something happened.
Something happened that they didn't make the right
We
reservation.
didn't have the visa.
Yeah, we
Oh,
didn't
is
have
that what
they
went
wouldn't
wrong?
let
Yeah.
us.
They won't let
you
us
go.
in there.
We got up like 5 o'clock in the morning, went to the airport by 8 or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and when we got there, everybody was so disappointed. We
I
got on
see.
the bus ready to go, and
We also missed Jordan.
oh,
We
yeah,
couldn't go to Jordan either.
That's right.
Uh-huh. How about, you've been to, you ever been to Russia?
Yeah.
No,
How
not
about,
Russia.
you ever been to Germany?
England,
No, we've been to England.
England,
You mean you didn't go
Scotland.
see those heinies in Germany?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
We didn't go to. We never went
Oh, you went to England, in
England.
Scotland.
Went to
Scotland.
Now, didn't you visit Albert, who was over
Yes,
there?
Albert
Yeah.
over there. We said
Ireland. We
Uh-huh.
visited Albert over
yes, we
there
went to Ireland
Uh-huh.
and
while he was
Scotland.
teaching.
And it's about the European trips we took, Israel, and then
Now, you've also done a lot of the traveling around the United States, right?
Yeah.
You went on bus trips around the
one
United
of
bus
States?
the first trips to the United States was to Albert in Scotland, wasn't it? Was it Scotland?
Yeah.
Albert, Scotland there. I think we stayed 3 weeks. And
Uh-huh.
where did we go from there? We Edinburgh, I think.
Yeah.
And we really had a nice time.
Uh-huh.
And then the following year, I think we took cross country
To Yellowstone Park,
Right.
Yellowstone Park,
California,
California, and
San Francisco.
all those.
Yeah.
We stopped in 22 states.
Yeah, didn't you also go, you made a trip to Alaska too, right?
Oh yeah,
Right.
now that
Right.
was on
That was
the-
You
beautiful.
flew out to the coast and you took
Yeah.
a boat?
Well, this was another trip.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we left from the airport
Uh-huh.
to Minneapolis, and from Minneapolis to Whittier.
Oh,
and
yeah?
From Whittier to Alaska,
I see.
Anchorage.
Did you like that?
Oh,
Was that
Oh,
nice?
that's a beautiful trip.
Oh, I
Uh-huh.
want to go back.
Right. Now, you also been to Hawaii too, right?
Oh,
Yes, we have been to Hawaii.
we've been to Hawaii, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we went with our friends, Bert and Frank, and one day we hired a limousine.
You
And Frank did all the driving to the
Uh-huh.
whole island. It
No,
was
okay.
just gorgeous.
Now, most of those trips you went with through a group with the church.
Yeah, we generally
Yes.
go with groups. We
I
like
see.
the groups. We make a lot of friends.
Uh-huh.
We like it very much. And you're not tense, you just
Right.
have to look for this and
They
that.
kind of like direct you where to go and take care of you.
Oh, yeah, they take
Now,
care of
how-
everything.
How come after all these years you never went to Japan?
Oh, I want to go.
Huh?
I want to go.
No.
How come? How come? You, how come you never
Maybe
went
we'll go
to
and see
Japan?
Matthew,
No
right?
way.
Why?
Jeff
Matthew,
Bezos.
you want to go see Matthew when he's in Japan? No, I can't talk.
You mean you don't want to go see those Jap bastards?
No.
No.
We went to see the Grand Canyon.
Oh, you
yeah,
did?
all those
Yeah.
shows, yeah. That was beautiful.
Oh, that's
You
beautiful.
You can't describe it.
Yeah.
You've been there, no?
No,
You
I've
know
never
Yellowstone?
been there. No.
No. Oh, you want to go someday?
Yep.
And which was an hour last
Then we
trip
also took a lot of, quite a few trips to the island, down to
Yeah.
the
You've been
Oh,
on
yeah.
Cruises down the islands?
Cruises
What
down
islands
the
have you been
Oh,
to?
St. Croix, St. Thomas,
Uh-huh.
where Albert was.
well,
Puerto Rico?
No, Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
and San Martin.
Yeah, the Bahamas,
The
where
Bahamas.
Albert
The Bahamas,
stayed for
Yeah,
several
well, this
years.
was a different trip when we came to you. We didn't go to Bahamas when we were in the Mediterranean. This was entirely
Yeah, I
different.
know, yes.
And now this is our second trip that we've taken in April
Uh-huh.
down to the
Caribbean.
Caribbean trip.
Right.
Yeah.
How about Mexico? You ever been to Mexico?
Oh yeah.
We've
took-
been in
yeah,
Mexico?
We've been to Mexico.
Wow, you've been all around the world, you guys.
Yeah.
Terrific.
We're coming to
The trip lined up very shortly, don't you?
Well,
Where,
this is it.
where you going?
We're going to the Caribbean again. This
When?
is April the 4th.
1990?
1990.
Uh-huh, I see. How long are you gonna stay?
10 days. Yeah, it's a
Very
10-day
nice.
trip.
You leaving your husband home or you taking
Oh
him?
yeah.
No, she's
No,
taking me with her.
I wouldn't dare leave him.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
know if I find out.
And
I
pretty
might-
soon-
They go on fire. I don't
It's
know.
finished filming.
And
What?
pretty soon we're going to celebrate our 60th
Oh yeah.
wedding
that's right.
anniversary.
Get that then. Did you get that in?
We're,
Okay. All right, very good.
we're getting ready for our trip, and we're getting ready for Nancy's wedding, and
Right.
then after that we're going to
60th
our
wedding
60th
anniversary.
wedding at the Breakstone in
In
Spring,
Spring Lake?
Spring Lake.
Very good.
That wraps it up for.
Do you want to say to your children and your grandchildren and great grandchildren someday when you're not here?
Right.
What do you want to say?
You want to
Go
make
ahead.
it, shall I
Go ahead,
make
you
it?
too.
Well, to all my loved ones, first my husband, then my children,
Uh-huh.
their wives, and my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. I love you all very much, and I pray for you all every day. Someday we're all going to meet in heaven.
Very good.
How's that?
You're on.
What can I say to all my children, grandchildren, and
Great-grandchildren?
Great-grandchildren.
to be happy, and we'll meet somewhere someday.
Atta boy.
Heaven.
Okay.